we are live.
All right. Hi everyone. Can I start or should
Let me double check the time real quick. Okay, 9:02. I'll make one quick announcement, reminding people that it started. Just do that. Okay. All right, I'll give it like 1 minute and then you probably can start. We're streaming anyways too, so we'll have a VOD.
All right, no worries.
Yeah, I got a couple people joining already.
How does presenting?
I think there's not a stage here. Yeah, we'll just scale it up in front of the marquee.
Cool.
I remember Imagineer, one of them put like one of those frames in here. I'll have to find out how they did that. I think it was like a custom like GLB maybe.
Perhaps.
Oh, there's Imagineer.
There's a bunch of people coming in now.
Mm-mm.
Where is it? Over here.
Hello. Whoa.
Hello. Oh, what am I? Oh, yes.
I like the avatar.
Yeah. Cool. I think this is probably auto-generated, but okay. So, you wanted a portable media frame, did you?
Yes.
Okay. It's just a GLB with a media frame in it and something to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a second.
Oh, we can add like an object and have share the screen on it.
Yeah, like the same kind of object that the stage had.
Because I was thinking that we need like another scene, not another object. But if it's just another object, it's very useful.
Yeah, just another object. This is all the media. Let me scroll this up. And where do you want it? In front of the doors?
Yeah, just in front of the doors. Nope, there he goes.
There. Oh, never mind. Okay. Again. Let's try that. You. Now I need to sign in to pin objects. Okay.
I saw it like
Oh,
a
is there?
flat plane on the floor or under the floor. Oh, okay.
No, it's slightly under the thing for me.
It's growing. You want me to tweet out also that it's starting?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll need a.
I see it like under the floor, like a plane.
Dan, can you send me a
link to the? Oh yeah, for the actual thing.
For the Discord, or or do you want me to do a YouTube link instead?
Oh, link for the live stream.
Yeah, is that better? Tweet.
I would tweet the Twitch one. Yeah, it actually, I'm streaming primarily to Twitch, and then YouTube is for bots at the moment.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll just tweet that.
yeah. I just sent it again too.
Doing.
Oh, there's the frame.
Okay. Try that for the media frame.
Hmm?
Oh, hi, Hobbs.
Oh, Steven's here. Yo.
Oops.
Right.
I guess
Okay.
to share you need like to drop it on the under the floor, because I see the object under the floor.
I
So
think the
the media frame itself is above the floor. It's just in front of the doors.
Hmm.
Just
So if we share in screen, it will let us like to attach the share
Yep.
screen to somewhere in front of the dog.
Yep.
Okay.
If I just share my screen, and if you watch my screen, you'll see there's a big media frame cube over here, and I just walk it in, and it just snaps and appears in front of the door.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Is there like a way? Ah, okay, it's pinned. Okay.
Yep. It is pinned.
Oh, you can pin media frames now? Or
Well, you can pin objects, so it's you
Yeah,
can't pin the screen share, but the media frame object you can pin that. Which I
that's right. I just remembered our usual issues with somehow people accidentally like moving the screen shares.
yeah, still gonna have that unfortunately, but
All right.
Can we
So
delete this camera here?
yeah.
Kind of making my computer visibly slow. I have a MacBook that's kind
there
of
was
slow.
like hide. Wait. No,
Or
no. I
How do you delete
accidentally
this?
hide serial. How do I unhide?
oh no.
Okay.
C
Thank
button.
you.
Okay,
Okay.
I found
Okay.
it.
Thanks so much, Hobbs. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think it was me actually. I think I pressed it by mistake. I was typing something somewhere else. All right. Let me get down to sharing.
Yep. Floor is yours.
All right. All right. Let's start with in a chronological order, I'd say. Let me do this. Hold on. Let me get some stuff sorted. So, there we go. Let's see. So, let me introduce myself first, maybe.
Imagine there's the screen. Is the screen backwards?
It's yeah. We need to mirror it somehow. No idea how to do that.
There we go.
rotate it. No. Okay. Hi everyone. Let me introduce myself real quick for the ones that don't know me. I'm Florian. I make WebXR games. Oh my gosh. And some of you might know Archery Training, Barista Express, Boulder World, and Archery Evolution. I think was my last big release. And now I've been working on some couple of other games that I'd love to show you today. That yeah, that I've been working on since last year. So this game is called Mr. Boom.
Florian, if you want to pause real quick, I think some people have to reload. They like lost the visual of the screen real quick.
I reloaded a few times and I still don't see the screen.
Oh,
Okay,
yes. Stop
let
and
me switch
restart.
to a better network. 1 second, it might be on my end.
Mm.
Apologies for this. I'm getting on 5G. It should be better.
Yeah.
How's this? Does that work better?
I've still been able to see it the whole time.
Okay.
I don't see it. Someone else seeing? If you see it, like, we can watch it on Twitch.
Yeah, so I can still see
Yeah,
it,
I can
so
see
the live stream should be getting it, if nothing else.
Anyone else having
I
issues?
can see it.
I can see it too.
I can see it. No problem.
Oren, could you refresh maybe? Maybe Hubs is bugging.
I'll refresh again, but I'll watch it on Twitch. I say that Hobbs
Okay.
also can't.
Okay, all right.
So
I'll
Twitch.
just
Yeah.
Are you still sharing it, Florian? Florian, you there?
Maybe his connection.
He did say he was switching. Maybe he still needs to reload and it just hasn't caught up yet or something. He is in Thailand, he said. Which probably is like geographically opposite of wherever this server is running. How's everyone else been? Oh. Is there, do I need to reload?
Fantastic.
Does anyone still see anything on his screen, or is it black for everyone else?
It's black for me.
For me.
Okay, okay. Okay, I think he just rejoined.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry. Everything froze, so I was like, okay.
I see.
Uh,
Oh, your
let's
ghost
try
just
again.
disappeared. All right.
I'm sharing screen. I'm not sure where it just went.
Here, let me see if I can maybe drop it in. Or maybe I can't move it. Maybe I think if you just walk it forward, that's where the frame is.
Okay. Let's try it again. I'm not seeing any object. That's kind of the problem right now.
Hmm.
What's going on there? Stop sharing. Stop sharing. I'll try something else.
Let's see. Did it
Switch to
fall
window.
underneath?
There we go. This should work.
Okay.
No?
And then
Uh,
should be about here. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
I'm not seeing any textures right now. It's horrible. Okay, if you guys are seeing it,
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to go into the WebXR emulator. I'm not sure if that's still gonna work. Yeah, it works, I think, right?
Mhm.
Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a mixed reality game I made for the Meta Hackathon. It's essentially you go to the wall, you touch the wall, you a bunch of evil little skeletons attack you, so you shoot them with your magical spears and that you control and you do damage. You control a wall with each hand, etc. And a really hard game to design. Very hard on the numbers. I was using IWSTK, which is uh, very new to me. BTS.
I think your bit rate might be getting throttled at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, it just cleared up after you switch tabs.
Yeah, I think my computer is just not meant to do this. But anyway, I have another game now that I'm almost finished with that I just started last week actually. Some of you might have seen it on Twitter. So it's essentially Mr. Doob essentially ported Kenny's racing game to 3GS, and I've just been hacking on it the last couple of days and just built out a whole game essentially out of it with all kinds of systems. This is the basic game, but I've managed to add a bunch of other stuff like a career mode with different type of levels, bunch of other ways to customize the levels. You can add ramps, you can add boosts, you can have holes, all that kind of stuff. And now there's a shop, you can customize the car. It's still a work in progress, but this is the project I'm planning on releasing next week. And now we come to my bigger announcement, which is I'm going to be launching my own platform now.
Ooh.
That's the reason why I've been developing this game is essentially to have new games on the platform. And the platform is called diminish.gg. That's all the games I've made it through the past. Leaderboards. You can get achievements in the games. Collect them achievements, and then you get levels, and you have in-app purchases, all that kind of stuff, good stuff. And yeah, that's what I've been working on. This is kind of a project that I've been doing the last couple of months, and I'm happy to finally be announcing it. So yeah, love to get anyone's feedback. Love to have you guys try it. It's not fully live. There's still some bugs and some functionalities that I need to iron out. So if there's any feedback, I'd love to hear it, and especially from you guys. And yeah, it's just kind of, I guess, a way to say I'm kind of back in making games now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you
Can
so
you
much,
drop a
guys.
link?
Yeah, it's I'll drop it right in the chat here. Diminish.gg.
So I'm curious what the near-term roadmap you have in mind for Diminish.gg is. Is it going to be kind of like similar offering to Javier? Are other people going to be able to upload?
That's the weird part of it. So this is not a competitor to Hey VR. This is a platform just for my games, essentially.
Gotcha.
I'm not planning on opening it. There's a lot of like problems with that because payouts, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Can't do it right now. So I'm just trying to, put the systems that I have in the old games anyway, like Barista Express, Overworld, all have like IAPs. I just want to rebuild that and see, especially with AI, like how fast can you build this stuff. And it turns out you can build it pretty. I mean, it's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's buildable. Takes doesn't take all that much to say, hey, how do you get a self-hosting situation going on that works? So I'm really happy I got this. It has everything I wanted to have. I have full controls when I push the builds, and I can see what goes live and get the issues right away. So the autonomy is pretty nice.
For sure.
Yeah, we got a shop as well. Need to optimize this. Obviously, there's some issues here. You can go buy items, and then they appear in the games. And for Shed Racer, I do want to add some really interesting stuff with more car types, even maybe non-cars.
And then you're going to put in the VR mode where you're driving, right?
Yeah, you can actually play it in VR as well.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
awesome.
You can. Hold on, where are we right now? What's going on here? IWSTK says no. What's going on here? Oh, it's because 1 second. This is caused by an extension that I have. There we go. 1 sec. Can you guys still see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. It should work now, I think. So let's go yes. So we go race, and then if you do A, you get
nice.
VR. Obviously with we check it out. So what's cool about this new version is you have like crazy levels like this one, which I still need to adapt. Oh yeah, this is an impossible level to read. We're gonna fall. Yeah, I misplaced that. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I rushed the last levels a bit so I could get like 4 slots here. So I need to get back on those. That's why the game is not public yet. So
Yeah.
'cause I'm still working on it.
Although I don't know if anyone knows of prior art, but is this the first like actual like VR WebXR race around a track thing that I've seen? The closest I can think of is Getaway Car, but that's just a straight track avoiding. I don't think I've seen like a proper racing game in WebXR.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's a
unique.
good point.
Maybe, I mean, I'm not sure like whether we can call it racing, but if you take Hover Fit, it's kind of a racing, but
Oh,
it's
true,
a
true.
different one.
Right, right, right.
Sure.
Yeah, different vehicle.
Yeah.
Your body is the vehicle. Don't drive it off. I think I will add a multiplayer pretty soon to it. There's already a fork by Endel who made Colusius, and
Mm.
it's open source MIT. So I'm just like, I'll just copy that
Mm.
and then host the servers. I guess. There's also bunch of things you can do. So what's really nice about a game like this is, oh, thank you so much, Oren. I appreciate it. What's nice about games like this is like you can just add stuff and it just works. You don't really have to think about, oh, is this gonna be balanced? Is this gonna be fun? Like for example, when I'm working on the Invasion 5 game, which is very much, you have to know the math and it needs to work. The physics colliders need to be, every hit counts. You need to make sure that the progression is correct. You don't need that when you make a racing game. You can just you can just make the car go. And that's essentially, it is a liberating thing. It's not as strict with the requirements.
I guess the sliding on the tracks has to feel right. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, you have to design a game that works, that's fun, but it's not as strict with doing things as it is with a game that's more technical in, in its design.
you
You
did
do,
share
you
a
do.
link on X, right, of that game?
Yeah, it's an old build. The current build is not live because I kind of want to still make sure that the bugs are ironed out. Mm, multiplayer works, and maybe add like few more customization options because it's very very boring now with what it can do. It's very, just colors. You have one car. I just need to do a bunch of modeling to essentially iron out the remaining parts. All of it's placeholder. Also, I'm not very happy with just having one setting. I feel like a game like this needs different types of locations, winter, whatever. Maybe like a lava type of situation. I think that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I'm curious as to like how the audience will react to it. Honestly, so I appreciate you guys liking it, and um, please do check it out. Check the build out that's live. I can just post the link to that. Um, and I'm just curious how this is gonna grow. Um, yes, purple. I love the purple one as well. It's actually my favorite. But I do want like more car types because just having a Jeep is kind of boring. What I realize when you make a game like this is everyone wants to have like their type of car and they want it to
Mm-hmm.
sound like their type of car, and then you have to make sure that that type of car also feels like that type of car. So at the end, it's not maybe complex, but you do have to do a lot of asset work. Yes.
Can I ask a question, Florian? It's fine.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm quite curious about like what's your thought process behind the website? Like, did you lost all the hope in heavy ROIvers and Meetup PWA stuff? And okay, I'm gonna build it myself.
It's just I just want to be self-hosting. I think that's the main priority.
Cool.
My idea is to essentially have. So what I've done is I can essentially just push to a website and stuff is live and I can iterate very fast on that. Just having that is very empowering for me. Um, I get to push, for example, when I was building Diminished, I just wanted to build a feature for achievements, right? And obviously, I need to have it in a game and doing that iteratively. So while I make a game and the platform, I get to automatically um, test a feature and see, okay, do I like this? How can I improve on it? And the iteration loop just is so fast on building all these things that honestly, it's more of a fun project for me than anything else. And there's also the aspect of monetization that I want to push as well. So if I can make a game um, like the racing game, and then you know, I essentially developed the game in 5 6 days now, and then push it live. I see this as a possibility to you know make more revenue with a game like that. That doesn't have to go through review. I review it myself. I can try new things myself, just be faster with it. That was my main ambition. So.
Nice. But just
And I
curious,
have,
like for monetization, you have to do some PR yourself, right? Like,
yeah, of course, like it's part of it. I have to do all the SEO stuff and get traffic onto it. It's a whole lot of work for sure.
Are you
It's
gonna try for a new tab placement?
I mean, I can move my old links as well, so that's kind of an
Mm,
advantage.
that's true.
But for sure, I'm gonna try new tab placement with the current games. I have a good feeling with the racing game, like you guys said, is there's not much that's similar.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll just polish it up, make sure it's running smooth at 90 FPS, and then it should be pretty um, it should be pretty good pretty soon. I feel like the baseline of the game was so good that that's one of the reasons why I was like I'm gonna add VR to it
Mm-hmm.
and for sure and stuff because of just how enjoyable it was for me to play and I honestly haven't had that in a while, not even with one of those two first games I showed,
Mm.
which are more much more complex, but at the same time still fun. But in VR, it's still not as thrilling as racing a car with your friend. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like.
Very cool. Yeah, always liked racing games.
Who
They're fun.
doesn't, right?
Right. Now I'm trying to think of like an even like another VR type racing game, maybe like a jetpack game, and it's like a vertical 3-dimensional course.
What are you working on right now?
Um, I've got like a couple things in various states of work in progress. Nothing super close to being finished at the moment. I also still have some unfinished stuff with Grappler's Gauntlet I have not been able to get around to finishing that would make that game a little tighter. And I was also working on, I don't know if you saw, I posted some pictures of it a couple of weeks ago. I was doing like a little astronomy kind of solar system visualization type thing.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I'd love to
yeah.
see it if you have.
Yeah, I think I posted in like a general development channel. But yeah, I've got like the solar system with the planets, like NASA textures, all the like orbital planes and eccentricities are properly represented. The thing I was
Oh,
working on with it then was the actual VR mode, so being able to like fly around and stuff. And then I also want to add in like at least the big moons for visualization around it, and then kind of be like a neat little sort of space engine type thing.
that sounds cool, actually.
Yeah, I gotta get back on that one.
Add a trail to the stars movement.
Mm. Yeah, simulating the stars is the other thing too, because right now it's just a like a static background sphere. But I've been wondering like what would it take to simulate it accurately, and it's probably very complicated. But
I don't. I'm not so
I guess
sure.
depends on the
There are
resolution. If I just take like the 10,000 closest stars from Gaia, I can probably get something that's like pretty close.
I think all the calculations are already there in the web, so only like
Yeah, it really is just like the visualization step. That's the like part got to figure out.
What's your goal with build? What are you trying to build exactly? Are you trying to make a
I just kind of
like a
started doing it for fun, like over a weekend, I think. Could just kind
Mhm.
of been like getting back into like space stuff and whatnot. And there haven't really been that many examples of like WebXR astronomy type experiences. There's like a couple that are pretty old, but nothing that's, like just like a nice high quality sort of like space visualizer thing. There were even a couple of those in the recent Poly Awards under like the
Oh yeah,
education experience. There's like Cosmo XR and another one. And those look pretty good. It would be neat to make something like kind of along those lines. It's like you can fly around and then you can like point at a planet and it'll pop up like a little display that tells you all about it. Maybe you can like make custom systems and whatnot. I just think it'd be neat.
definitely. I mean, uh, building stuff that doesn't exist is just something that I think that'll grow the
Mm,
ecosystem as well.
yeah.
Just really a more fun experience as well to do different stuff.
I also have been thinking about I want to maybe do something like Blue Cyber in the future. Not necessarily like Blue Cyber, but just like a narrative thing in WebXR.
Yeah, yeah. I also want to dive in more into like narrative design because I'm realizing it's kind of with AI, the mode is kind of becoming more the subjective thing instead of the objective thing. Like
Hmm.
coding is not a mode anymore. Um, it's more about what you build instead
Yeah,
of
it's like, can you have a good idea and then also execute on it?
exactly like how do you tell the story? How do you
Mm.
um, bring something interesting to the audience that's uniquely you specifically because you know something that a model can't produce essentially.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what James does with his stuff.
Yeah, for sure. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
I gotta learn that stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm realizing it. Like I've been working on this racing game for 5 days,
Hmm.
and the progress that I have is pretty good actually, and it's kind of making me uneasy as well at the same time, thinking like the product that I made years ago essentially put so much time and effort into are just doable in the fraction of the time that it used to be.
But do you think that if you didn't have the previous knowledge, you still would get this like result in such a short time with AI?
Probably not. You're right. I think you're right. Um, I think I would get it. I would not learn as much though. That's I think one of those bad things. I think take too many shortcuts. I would not know what's going on in the code. But I'm realizing the better the models get, the less I have to know. Like a lot of stuff that is just would have taken me a day to fix because it's a bug in the library that I use or something, or some hidden property that I need to access that's not documented anywhere. That stuff I don't need to do anymore at all because the model can essentially, I can just say, hey, I think there's this situation. Like literally today, there was a situation with how the fonts were done in UIKit. UIKit's documentation for Vanilla.js is not really good. It's more, for R3F. So it did not find a solution by itself. I just had to think and understand the problem, and then it just one shot it essentially. And things like that just are happening more easier the better the models are. I don't know, how are you guys seeing this?
I mean, I think the my take is it's an accelerator if you're able to keep up with like the pace and like depth of its output, being able to spot like, what is an actually good solution, what is maybe not a good long-term solution. And it's like as an experienced engineer already, you can kind of do that, but it's like the danger is like giving that to like juniors and then they never learn how any of it works and then things break.
Yeah. I do realize there's a lot of technical debt now.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of technical debt. But also, I don't think everything needs to be perfect code. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're just making a small little racing game, putting it online, I think it's not as important as flying someone to the moon or something.
Yeah, I mean, context and scope will always be like a factor. Like you said, if it's like a thing that only you're working on and you already kind of have like the model of how it works, then yeah, AI is probably not going to like throw any major wrenches in that.
Yeah.
Have you tried the thing Felix put out recently, the like MCP server for IWSDK?
Not yet. I'm gonna use that for Invasion 5 for the IWSTK game that I had.
Hmm.
But I'm curious how it's gonna go because I did use Claude Code in it for it a lot, but debugging was a problem, obviously.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, their tool obviously solves that. But at the same time, I have problems with the game right now that are not as superficial. Like it's game design issues that I need to iron out.
Mm.
I'm not really sure how that's gonna be helped with what their solution is.
Yeah, it's like we're seeing like more like AI oriented tools coming out for WebXR, but I just wonder how much usage have they gotten like so far? Like there's that Google XR vibe coding thing with like their blocks framework, which already I've like barely seen anybody like talk about like using for real.
I'm also curious as to how that stuff. I mean, I feel like when I see people doing these AI game creating frameworks that essentially are wrappers for 3GS, but much smarter. There's like some really good ones, but it feels like the NFT bubble at the same time. There's so many companies right now trying to do this,
Yeah.
but you can also just use Claude Code, and if you know it, especially, I mean, you have to know what you're doing then because you have to know what 3GS is, what rendering means. Like you need to optimize the rendering. Still, you can't just be like make it more performant. It'll do certain things, but it won't tell you that you need to instance the objects in your scene, whatever. What I'm curious about is like what's the next step in all of this, because I would say objectively for me, I am much faster now. Like it's not even just about speed, it's also about not being bogged down by stupid problems like a typo somewhere or naming an object wrong and then not understanding it, and you know just debugging all of that. A lot of that stuff is automatically um, handled for you, and I think that really gave me a superpower in terms of building features. Like I do still code some stuff, but it's getting less and less, and the results are getting better and better, and I'm just really happy about that. And I can just essentially manage the issues and manage the design and not care too much about how specifically like a list is implemented or a feature is implemented.
Well, like, but how like you follow the code? Like, if there is a big issue, you still know how to dive in and fix it if the AI doesn't manage to fix it.
Depends on the complexity of the issue, of course. For games that have complex states, I think one of the things that needs to happen is also for the AI to understand the state of the game. There's, I think, frameworks that do this. AIs try to essentially print out stuff into the console and then try to understand it with you. There's, MCPs and all of that, but for me, honestly, a lot of times it's just you still have to understand what the bug is and then fix it. But that's only for the more complex use cases. In simple use cases, I can just copy paste the error message and it fixes for me. But semantic issues usually are, I think, still an experience problem to solve. Mainly, that's my experience. But I'm curious, like how I can do non-code stuff with it as well. Because I've been trying to do, game design with it, and it does help with certain things, but it does make very basic decisions on things. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't really,
Because this is what
really.
AI, it's like generic, it's like average.
Yep.
It won't give you like an amazing new idea.
It will tend towards the mean unless you specifically get it not to, which involves already having the ideas and knowing the constraints.
Yeah, and exactly. But also, what's good also is that you don't get bad answers. Like the average is still better than a bad one. So that's one of my peak problems right now is like if I was hiring right now, I wouldn't know who's actually capable and who's actually just the AI, right? I think like we as people who've already built stuff are kind of lucky that we already have experience before AI. I don't know how learning coding would be if I just had, AI do everything for me. I think I'd be super lazy, not understand anything. What is a for loop? Like I'd be like, what is a for loop? You can do other things with for loops than just have three parameters and loop. Oh no.
Yeah. And it got concerning like few of the students I know, like who's learning CS, they overly depend on AI and everything, even for their assignments and projects.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in future we may get vibe coders only, but there's no way to know them, like you said.
Yeah, but that also means people who don't have access to good models are essentially going to become worse coders, which is you're
Hmm.
just putting an economic barrier essentially into making stuff, which is
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
The times we live in.
Yeah. Oh wow.
For now, like at least like on like commercial projects, I prefer like even if using I prefer to do a review of the code before uh, I merge it into main. Like I want to be in control of the code to be sure that nothing malicious accidentally enter the code that or that the changes are still coherent with the rest of the code um, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it also depends on what you're building, right?
Excellent.
I think that's one of the key factors. If you're building a dashboard for whatever you want to see, like you have an open protocol at home for something that measures air temperature, and you want to build a dashboard and for your for yourself, you don't need to know what's happening there per se, besides like basic security stuff, right?
Sure,
Yeah, I guess
or
that makes
even
sense.
like hmm? Sure, even like if I build like a game just to jam around and try a new idea. So it's very fast with it, but
Yeah.
uh, for some stuff that I want to have control over in the future, some stuff that I know that in a year from now I still want to maintain it and make sure that if there are issues I know by myself how to fix them. Uh, I'm still not like 100% uh, can like rely on AI for that.
Mm.
Maybe we can, but it's still my feelings are still like not full sure about the capabilities of some of the models.
What models do you use? What models did you try?
In one of our projects, one of the coders that works with me uses Cursor, and I don't know if it's like a specific model or the default there. And like sometimes I see that the results are okay, wow, and how does the AI knew that this was the intention and this is the convention? And sometimes it feels like doing a full review for a junior developer and not for someone who actually knows the project.
I'll tell you, Oren, as working in someone in corporate, and now we have turned everything into AI, and there's code reviews, but all the code reviews are initially done with uh, AI and then human. The AI nowadays is finding so many senior level uh, flow issue, not just issues in your in like you that's some bad code. Like it's looking all over our architecture. It's saying I see that in the future this might bring up, and all the seniors like, wow, like that is some serious stuff that the AI is finding. And this is all happening in the past like 2-3 weeks, where it became very, very serious and very, very quick.
Like this sounds like a good use case, like letting the AI to be another eye and do the review. But the AI is like reviewing code of another AI and find bugs or some other issues. So it means that in the first place the AI had issues with writing the code. But it's nice that it fixes itself.
But from my experience, what I've tried AI 1 year ago, like agentic coding or whatever it is that you want to call it, tried it 1 year ago and tried now. I'm seeing so much more efficiency gains that I don't see this going away at this point. So it's very interesting to me as like the game developer community obviously has like a very hard no against AI, especially for assets, much more than for code. But what do you guys think about like that aspect of the whole debate?
I think it's more like the level, the quality. Like most lots of the AI generated images and models and assets, it will be like a slope, okay?
Yeah.
And then users see this and they realize very fast that it's an AI. But people that use AI and review the asset or doing some their own um, changes to the asset after that, users sometimes user will know or will guess, but it will look better. So I think that there are like two types of users that AI they have issues with AI. Those that just don't want AI because are issues of it takes copying other artists and taking jobs, etc., and others because of the quality. So those of because of the jobs and whatever, I can relate to that, but this is the world we are living in. They will try to find the issues and the errors in every small details and will guess AI even when it's not an AI. But those who care for the quality, even if it's AI, but if it's good, they won't say anything. This is what I think.
Mm, I agree with that.
Hmm. Yeah, personally, I'm indifferent to AI coding, specifically in game dev. I'm less, I guess, enthusiastic about doing it for the like sort of visual and audio side of things. And maybe that's like a little hypocritical, but I don't know. Just something about, and there's obviously some degrees to it as well. But if you're just kind of like lazily slapping in some like Suno tracks or sound effects or whatever on top of like generic AI assets, then yeah, that's going to be bad. And I think most people would agree that it's not good. So there still needs to be like artistic intention in there.
I agree. I think also what AIs lack mainly is the expressive nature of doing things, like especially music. I feel like it's the case with concept art and things like that. I'm not an artist, so any gain in terms of something for me is a value add that AI gets. Like my art skills are so bad, like 2D art, that any concept art that makes me get something cohesive into my scenes is helpful.
Mm.
Like something like skyboxes, right? You have skybox AI. I think that's super powerful for people who don't have any artistic abilities. Or, I mean, the other option for me is to go to a store and buy something that's kind of like what it is. I feel like AI does the same thing, right? You go to a shop, you're like, oh, close enough. I'm not really directing anyone to do a skybox for me. So
Mm.
But
yeah,
do you mean the AI generated 3D models and stuff? Because
no
from
3D
a
models. I'm talking about 2D more, basically, because I have no 2D skills, like zero. 3D, I'd say it's different game.
yeah, I looked into those things a bit, but the 3D models are well, maybe usable as some concept art or something, but for real modeling, it's I've not seen a good one yet.
Yes, same.
Because they
And
just like
code
They'll
can't.
and
say
code.
would like I mean, with Blender, you can use MCPs and you can kind of write some Python scripts to make it simple low poly models. It's much way better than like asking Mishi or something to create something, but still it's limited with the basic shapes. But that's one direction that's possible. Yeah.
Mm.
They're still not good though. I feel like if you have basic modeling abilities, you're still gonna be better than what the MCP server is gonna do, just from a because it's gonna be more aesthetically aligned to what you think your app should be like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything will be if you do multiple models for a scene or for characters or whatever, they will if you make them by hand, um, especially when you are also having like art directors and more people that keep focus on stuff. The game will look way better than if you just AI generate all of it.
Mm. But one thing I'm curious is how like videos now has so much AI stuff that a lot of it is good because people who know how to direct videos and movies are making them better. Whereas,
No, yeah, I think they are they're getting there, but they are if you compare these videos, if you look really good at it, if you see them passing by on social media, that's great. But if you look at some of these videos as if you're watching a movie, there are so many little details that are not there, and that I think if you take um, movies as we use AI as developers, not to just completely generate a movie, but just as a tool to improve on things and make things a little bit better. Um, I think that's the way forward.
mm,
Um, I know
Yeah.
that, for example, um, ILM. is using neural nets and all kinds of crazy things in the Avatar movies, just to take everything to the next level. All the micro animations that are in phases when they move, and they add that using neural nets instead of manually um, animating everything now. So it's AI is used there to improve upon what what humans do, and I think that's what code um, and art for games and all of that. That's how we should use AI, and that's where it will shine. And I'm the funny thing is that I've been working with AI. I did write neural nets in the 90s, so it's not way not there yet. I don't know. I'm still not convinced that it's people create crazy things with it, and it's amazing. But it's that last 20, maybe 10%. I'm not sure if AI will get there soon. I'm still not convinced. Which actually makes it for small indie developers, it will be hell because they often don't get that last 20% that a triple A game can add to a game to make millions. And but yeah,
I think
maybe I'm just rambling. I don't know.
no, I agree with you. Like it. I don't see it like working right now for a full feature film or a full feature like a chapter in a TV series, but like using it for very specific details, segments. I already see it like in some YouTube videos, like not the entire YouTube video is with AI, but when the editor of the video is a really good editor, he knows when to combine AI and that it will feel in the right place and not like out of place or not like a cheap effect or something like that. I believe that in the future, both for code and for games and for TV series, etc., it will be able to make like a full feature. Maybe an editor will need to stitch some parts for it to be like a full feature. Um, but it will be, but you will be able to make a full feature film with AI. Like we use like a Claude or a Cursor to like talk with the AI and add things to the code, and it asks you question and like back and forth with the AI. Uh, um, yeah, but it's a tool. It's a tool, and if the users that using the tool knows better about if it's a game, about game design and game programming and game audio, etc., it will make better results than like a junior will do. And I think the same thing with TV series and films. I saw some stuff that friends in the films industry did with AI, and it's like you see that it's AI, but it's coherent and it has meaning and like I see it and I don't feel like, oh, it's AI and I can do it by myself as well. No, you see that someone professional used it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, one of my big questions is if AI is going to uh, be profitable enough and um, sustainable enough to last. Have, have you guys heard about OpenAI shutting down Sora?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah.
And I just have an article here that's said that, that it apparently one analyst suggested that it costs OpenAI $1.30 US to generate a single 10-second video based on the 11.3 million daily videos he estimated Sora produced. The analyst said this would cost the company about 15 million every day.
Yeah, it was never clear how Sora was ever going to survive, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. But so I don't know. Was Sora just an outliner and everything else is much more financially sustainable, or um,
I don't think so.
I think it's
right?
all
So
paid.
then,
It's all paid by the RAM prices right now.
Yeah.
right. So what happens when all the investors go away? Will we even have access to these tools in the future, or will only very high-paying uh, movie studios or game studios be able to even afford them?
No, you
We
can
will
run them
need to
locally.
try.
Yeah. Even if the big frontier models did suddenly go away, I think there would still be some amount of movement in the local scene. I mean, and there's also, everything coming out of China, like Quen and
Mhm.
DeepSeek.
Yeah,
I,
true.
I think the cost will be much higher and more reasonable, in relate to the cost for the company. So OpenAI and Anthropic and everyone else will pump up the prices, and it will be like balance itself. Currently, I guess they try to have more users, uh, but I'm afraid that like the work on models, because now it's like there's a race for different models, and I think that once the market will balance itself, um, like the incentive to create better models will go down with it as well.
Yes, but I feel like we're at a point where um, if the computational requirement for these models are going down, which is the case, like Google just announced a new compression algorithm that essentially allows inference to be like 6 times to run on 6 times lesser hardware or something. And when these kind of stuff happens, even if we had only the models that we have now, it is still such a boost in productivity just by having you know more of these models working doing tasks for you. Especially assuming you could run them locally in a cluster that you have at home, so you don't even need to infer anywhere else. You just have a solar panel that runs your computer that does local inference, so you get intelligence essentially for free.
That sounds cool.
About that, so like, how much would it cost to actually run something similar to what Cloud Code is actually offering now, or like Cloud Opus, or
That's expensive.
For like the
how much would it cost to?
frontier,
Yeah.
probably a lot. I don't know how much of that is currently accessible in like the local space. Maybe like the high end Quen models,
Maybe like
maybe.
the best competitor to Cloud Core. This is the best open source
Uh,
MCP. Hey, by
Yeah.
the way, is DeepSeek still in picture?
I think so. I'm honestly not too like tuned in to the specifics of the Chinese market here. I just know that they're both still going, I think. Actually, I do remember seeing a post. There's some other ones that are like China only that I don't think I've even seen mentioned in like US conversations. I'll have to find that.
I just googled it, and that's a lot of RAM. So even for a minimum, you need like 512 gigs of system RAM, 32 gigs of VRAM. That's minimum, and that's gonna be slow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a lot.
that's for Kimi K2, by the way, which
So,
is
That's for Kimmy?
this is pretty
so
strong
we
though.
God.
It's a good model.
so probably it's not going to make to the consumer market. I mean, we have to set up farms and everything.
I mean,
Yeah, but you also don't need Kimi K2 to do
yeah,
this type of
more
stuff.
realistically, you'd probably run like one of the lower parameter Quen thing, maybe like a 27B
But
if you have good
but
hardware.
we won't do that, right? I mean, we get so accustomed to like using high-end models, so we'll only
Yeah,
pay for more from now onwards.
that's how they get you.
But I think
So in my country, like there's a provider called Geo. So they initially introduced internet free for us, everyone, free internet for 1 year or something. And once we get used to it, they hype the price and they basically control the internet in India. Something
yeah.
similar. But
I mean, Claude is doing that right now. They essentially announced 2 weeks ago that they're doubling usage during hours for subscribers. And then this week they announced they're going to essentially lower people's baseline during peak hours. So
Yeah, it's
they're
been
essentially lowering people's expectations for these subscriptions over time, which is essentially a cost cutting measure. You're just getting less for the same money instead of actually increasing prices. They're just cutting costs. So the prices are at some point going to be a problem. Yeah.
yeah, it's been getting really annoying to use for me because I have like a project on there and I send one message and it's like you've used up your limit for the next 4 hours and I'm just like, man.
Yesterday was really bad. I had one question and then it just took 10 minutes. It was something super basic I could have done myself. And then, oh, I just used all of my usage for the next 5 hours. Great.
Okay, so here's the other aspect of AI, and I think this applies especially to game devs and so forth as creative workers, and is what I have the biggest problem with AI is the copyright, because basically, um, and this seems to be being upheld, is that you can't really claim copyright on the AI generated parts of works. So vibe coding and or the creative aspects, it suddenly um, like they're not really yours and are mostly public domain.
Yeah, that's a big problem, especially for artists that are not getting compensated. They're essentially getting replaced by models that use their work without compensation, which is like a double whammy for artists. But also at the same time, putting that genie in the back in the bottle means destroying the economy. So if a court actually decides to, massively apply copyright to AI, which ethically maybe should be done, a bunch of companies are using this in production, so it's kind of problematic.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
like, how do you even
yeah,
start litigating that?
there's that, but also like anything, like there have been several cases where you create something with AI, and anyone else is allowed to use that. Like you can't claim copyright yourself out of it. So even if you use AI in your workflow, anyone else can come around and just take what you produce and use it however they please.
There's those like brain rot meme characters.
Which ones?
Yeah.
There's like these animal characters and like this stick whatever. They're copyrighted. People created them and they copyrighted them. You can copyright creations with AI as a person. It's possible.
Well,
Uh,
if the courts would rule that you cannot copyright AI generated content, then probably that would mean that the copyrights that are claimed on AI generated content would be invalid. But then, if they would manually add a Photoshop filter, it's not fully AI generated anymore. So then you can copyright it again, I would guess. So
yeah,
where's the line?
that sort of seems to be it. The at least the U.S. court just apparently in like March or end of February declined to hear dispute over copyrights for AI generated material, and so they're saying essentially that they're um, not going to allow purely AI generated stuff to be copyrighted. Um, now, yes, if there is some human element of creativity added in there, then yes, it will. But I think potentially they're saying that the AI parts are still not copyrightable. So if you can separate the AI from the human part, then you can use the AI part. But that's obviously difficult.
Yeah, I think it won't be able to you cannot be able to apply copyright laws on AI content. The funny thing is, right now, everything that can be done with a computer automatically is called AI, basically, just because it would sell better if you call it AI.
Yeah.
Photoshop came with a content aware fill years and years and years ago. That would be considered AI right now. Maybe it was considered AI back then as well, but it wasn't called and marketed as AI.
Mhm.
If that would be AI now, then that would influence the copyright. If you technically, if you use that feature right now and you would publish your game on Steam and it's the only quote unquote AI feature you've used, you need to mention that your game is built using AI.
Interesting.
I
I
guess it
think.
depends. I guess like yeah, in Steam, like yeah, people should understand that AI is integrated to our way of life for years now. But I think like when it regards to the law and like if something is uh, like copyrighted to a human or a company versus like it's AI. I think it's like the amount that you use the AI, is like 90% of the work is AI, or it's like it's a human and used AI as a tool for very specific tasks.
Yes, but there's a big gray area there.
Yeah, yeah, and like you couldn't create a whole game with or a whole piece of art with content aware fill. At least I don't think so.
No,
But with
no,
AI,
but
you can. You can just
but
um,
in I worked as a 3D modeler in the early 2000s,
mhm,
and that was before or around the time that the content aware fill was introduced, and um, we did um, animations and stuff for um, train railway stations and bridges and those kind of things, or changes to a rail environment in a city. And we would take pictures of the houses there, and we'd use those as background images. We create a whole
mhm,
scenery, so if you would watch the animation, people could immediately see where that was because they know that environment. But there's always
mhm,
cars in front of buildings and trees, and we always needed to um, basically Photoshop them out. And that content aware fill saved so incredibly much time back then to get all those little details removed, because you don't have to completely reconstruct the image. You can just have the quote unquote AI do it for you.
mhm,
No one was considered that AI, or but it was similar to what the AI is doing for developers right now. And I forgot the
mhm.
completely thing that I was saying. Um, it's getting late, I guess. But yeah, we did that before.
Yeah, yeah, and to be clear, I'm not worried about AI being used in conjunction with creative effort by humans. Um, but a lot of stuff seems to be going to uh, you tell the AI what to create. The AI then creates it, and then there is no direct human interaction with it, which then I think would essentially result in no copyright for the human. So if you create a game that way, then which a lot of things seem to be going towards, then uh, you don't own that game at all, and so anyone can take it and use it and um, do whatever you want. Now, I'm not entirely opposed to the whole of software um, going that way, but only if that's applied equally to everyone and not to like big companies get to own AI generated works, but individual creators do not. Like that would have a huge imbalance of power.
That's what
Um,
I'm a bit afraid of.
yeah.
I mean, there's also a bit of a gray zone there, right? Because you're saying when someone prompts an app, a game, whatever, and that's it. That's technically still their input. You could argue that one prompt might not be input enough to make it human, but what about 20 prompts? What about 50? What about 100 prompts to really customize it? And at some point, it is the ultimate shortcut. You're just making the AI do most of the work at that point. But isn't that all that different from an artist that might, use a robot and use voice control to draw on a canvas and say, okay, do this. Those are also just prompts, but he is essentially dictating or directing the production essentially, and his employee is essentially the AI, right? And so I'm
Yeah,
just where the lines are in this case.
I don't think that would be allowed either because it uh, do you remember the theater, the opera spatial image from 2022 that was created using Midjourney, and um, the artist tried to register copyright, and I think his prompt was like had been refined over months with like ending up at like 520 um, words long or something, and had gone through hundreds of iterations, and the copyright office would not allow him to register it.
Mm.
And I believe he still has not been able to register that as a copyrighted work.
Which is very interesting because basically he would copyright the prompt, not the image, but the prompt, right? Because that's what he used to
Maybe.
create the image. If he cannot copyright the piece of text, what would that mean for other stories or lyrics? Can you
True.
copyright
Yes.
lyrics?
Mm.
Okay, but then that brings up an interesting question. If you copyright the prompt, then that saves the prompt. But what about the image generated from that prompt? If someone sketches that image entirely in a different, like reproduces that another way, um, are they then allowed to do that?
If you
Because
would
you
draw the
only
Mona
copyright
Lisa with a
prompt.
pencil,
Yeah, if you were to draw with a pencil, because only the
but if you
prompt
would
is
draw the Mona
copyright.
Lisa with a pencil,
I mean,
and you would,
he could
is
use
that
the
is that
exact same prompt in a different model.
Yeah, I
It
was
never
about to
differs though.
say, yeah. Like, would you be copyrighting the prompt with the model? Is like, also, is that model even like deterministic? Could you do it again? Like, how would
But
you
it's still
know
Mhm.
a
if
human.
how would you know if something used that prompt? If someone tried to litigate this for some reason?
I'm curious if we are going to solve this. If we do, we should publish this the recording of the stream on copyright.
Yes, but I mean, this brings up
If we
real.
use AI in this stream.
AI, summarize this
Yep.
meeting and solve this problem.
Yes. Yes, but yeah, that does bring up very good points. That yeah, these models are not deterministic, so it also is not um, completely um, out of uh, like out of the woods type idea uh, to for the courts to be ruling this way. It's not unrealistic to have this opinion that this stuff shouldn't be copyrightable. But then again, what happens when that's when everyone is using these non-deterministic systems for the whole of their workflow, um, and then what happens to copyright, which um, essentially underpins the whole economic model of creative work.
I guess we'll see.
Yep.
Yep. That,
I just hope that they won't just try to shut things down and limit use of all these models because of these issues. Because then only a few select people will be able to still use them, or will be using them illegally, and um, that's what you said. They would have an advantage over the rest, and
hmm I doubt it'll get uh, illegal, but like further use of them would be classified as illegal. Too much because, as you say, there's already the um, question of models infringing on other people's copyright. But it just um, it may become not financially viable for anyone except big companies because you can't really sell the stuff you create with it. I don't know. My hope is that people will go will drift away from pure AI interaction for everything and come to a mix of human use with AI as a tool, and then that I think and like only use pure AI stuff for like prototypes and prototyping things because then I think that has the double benefit of allowing you to still maintain at least most of your copyright, um, and also you have a better understanding of the systems and stuff you're working with, what you're creating, so that you can ensure it's what you want and that it works properly. But
I wonder, like, if you can, like, if we speaking about using AI as a tool, like, if you prompted an image and then you modified the image, like with, you know, Photoshop or something else, like you manually edited the image, can you still can't have copyright over this modified image, or can you have copyright on the new image, the one that you edited?
The other way around. If you take a copyrighted image into Photoshop and you would modify it a little bit, is the original copyright still there?
This is why there is copyright, because you don't want people, like, it depends how much of the creation uh, is like is based on the old on the old image. Like, if you have a full length YouTube video and for 1 millisecond uh, you used an image of someone else, uh, like in appropriate way, like if you commented on it, or if you used it as like to comment about it, or something like that, there's like fair use. uh, but I don't know if you have like fair use in an image that, like, is based on
Yeah.
other image.
If you do a parody of an image, I think
Mm,
that would
yeah,
be fair use.
yeah.
You can create a funny looking version of the Mona Lisa, for example, I think.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
But if you
Also,
would paint the Mona Lisa yourself, it would be copyrighted, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
no, Chris, copyright has expired and the Mona Lisa is in the public domain.
Oh, okay.
Because
Then it's a bad example.
Yeah,
yeah,
I picked the Mona Lisa, but then um,
something
yeah,
more
any other.
recent.
try, Mickey Mouse or
Yeah.
something like
The
that.
newer version, not the one that expired.
Yes, the newer version. Like, yeah, you not Steamboat Willie or whatever his
Yeah,
name is. But yeah,
yeah.
if you try and draw something even just like that, um, it's still like they can claim copyright. But something like the Mona Lisa, because it's in the public domain, they can't claim copyright. So yeah, I think that kind of answers the question of the prompt thing. Is if you copyright the prompt, but the image is in the public domain, anyone could still just reproduce that image in a drawing or something, and then claim copyright over it. And
So
then actually they might be able to sue the prompt creator for copyright infringement
So after a
because they
prompt,
created
you
the
need
image
to
for it.
edit. So after the prompt, if you want to have copyright of the image, you need to modify the image, and then because AI can't have copyright, but you can have copyright of edited material of AI, you should edit the image that you produced with AI and like claim a copyright on this image on the newer on the one that you edited.
Mhm.
Wouldn't be that be the same as an what is it, license, GPL license? If you use some open source code with a GPL license, you need to make your derivative also a GPL license, right?
But
True,
I
but this is
don't.
public domain.
It's no public
Yeah,
domain, but it's a GPL license. If you do this, if you would do the same thing with AI,
no
then
AI. The question is like if image generated by AI, is it like a GPL or is not copyrightable?
I think it's essentially public domain currently. So yes, there is. It, I think because like yes, if you make modifications to it, the image, then I think because they did mention that in that court case I was talking about that if the guy had if Alan had made some modifications to it, and then they would have granted him copyright, but because it was pure, he was trying to copyright the pure output of the LLM. They didn't let him. So I think yes, um, if you applied some changes to it, um, you would get copyright for it.
See you, Florian.
See you guys.
See you.
Have a good
Good
night.
night.
Bye bye.
Yep. Bye. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it's probably like 3 a.m. where he is.
Oh, yeah, it's almost midnight here.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, like I think like someone mentioned Disney, and
Hmm.
there was like Winnie the Pooh, because
Yeah.
so if I remember correctly, they used Winnie the Pooh because it already was like in public domain, but
Hmm.
they had like their own version of the characters. So it was a derivative creation, and they copyrighted the derivative work. So
Yes.
I guess in the same way we can do a derivative work based on AI generated content, and we can
Uh,
claim no.
I I don't think so. Like derivative works, though, those are specifically classified under copyright law, and you're not really allowed to do that um, and there was with Disney and Winnie the Pooh. I do remember about some copyright on it expiring semi recently because that's how we were able to get the horror version of
Yeah,
Winnie,
yeah,
um, which I have not watched and have no intention of watching. But
yeah.
uh, there was that whole thing. Um, so I don't know if it was still under copyright when Disney did it. I would not be surprised that they had to pay to make an adaptation under their thing. Um,
I
but
think Disney worked like on the base that it's in the public domain now, and this is why we are using
Yeah.
it because we don't need to pay someone.
yes, Disney has done a whole ton of like they've adapted public domain works with their own style, and so then they can copyright their versions of that. But
Exactly,
someone could make
exactly.
a different version, and
Mhm.
they could copyright that.
Yeah, I'm reading they deliberately did not give in that horror adaptation. They deliberately did not give Winnie the Pooh the the red shirt to carefully avoid iconic elements from Disney.
Mhm.
Interesting. So it if you see the horror character, it kind of immediately see it's Winnie the Pooh, but because they did not give it the red shirt, it's different enough. Interesting. They took some risk there.
Mhm.
Funny.
Yep.
It's a case where like the legislation is not uh, up to date with the technology. Um,
Yeah. Well, quite possibly. I mean, lots of people have um, complained about the copyright system all throughout the years and have thought it broken. So um, and now it I think it's maybe breaking down even more with AI. So I really think that needs to be fixed and before we can get any kind of stability with AI.
I wonder how it works like with patents.
What do you mean with patents?
Like if you used AI to write a patent.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if you used AI to invent a technology, could you then patent that technology? Is that what you're saying, or
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a very good point.
I mean, I guess you could have an AI like draft up all of it. I think the patent office probably only requires that a human submits it, right?
I'm not a lawyer, so I'm
Yeah.
not familiar
No,
enough
I'm
with
not a
the
lawyer either.
yeah.
Entering an uncanny valley.
The things that I know that legislations around the world are working regarding AI is like safety and children stuff and like protecting humans from the AI. Those are the things that I know that legislators are looking at.
Yeah, yeah, which I think is distracting from topics like this because the large the larger companies, uh, this situation suits them much better than it does individuals because
Mhm.
they have all the money and the legal powers to fight these kinds of things in court. So it it does kind of create a very big power imbalance, and and I think companies want it to stay that way because it's beneficial to them to have this power imbalance. Just focus on these other more tangible issues and forget about the man behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'll know how this is going to sort out until it actually does sort out. So I'm very interested to see how it will sort out. But this this is what I think about. So I don't use much AI. I use some AI and I use it as a tool. But yeah, I'm careful. I'm careful with all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And but like I would I would be very happy if some sort of special exception for AI was was done, or if it was specifically decided that some sort of iterative AI conferred the copyright to you, like if it was um, given sort of like some work for hire agreement, like the AI has a sort of work for hire agreement with the person, then and it becomes that eh, like as long as you're saying, hey, go do this, go do that, and it's iterative, then that would probably solve everything, and um, that that would probably be very helpful um, for individual creators. But I don't know. So far, we haven't received any official word on something like that. I don't think.
Yeah. I guess there are like cases in courts right now, like
Yeah.
some judges need to decide something, and I guess the legislatures will have to go based on those decisions. Um,
Hmm.
I wonder, like, is there still any meaning in retaining your rights right now? Because let's say you created a program. Okay, you have like an app or a program, computer program, like a phone app or something like that. Uh, Now, even if someone doesn't have the code, like telling AI, do me a clone of whatever, it's still not like, click of a button, but it is much faster than in the past.
Hmm.
Would that
So
work?
uh,
I'm just I,
it will be faster. I don't say
um,
it's like because
what are you
copying,
cloning?
like if you have Tinder, okay, telling AI, do me a UI that looks like Tinder. I saw enough samples of it, of people doing it. And AI can clone the left, right, swiping with large image in the middle, and etc. And doing a backend, it's not like a click of a button, but it's in a few days of work, or maybe a few weeks of work. It's not like, you know, like entire fleet of designers and programmers like it took in the old days. Uh, so even if they didn't copy the code, cloning apps right now will be much faster, and then like is there any meaning to like, you have copyright of code, you have like claims for, for your work on a code, on a program, etc. Is there a meaning for that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. And things like there have been a lot of clone projects by AI that I think there's been a SQLite clone and um, other things. And yeah, it does make reverse engineering a lot faster, I would assume. So yeah, that's a very good point.
But how would
Um,
that work? Is there someone that is describing all features of SQLite, or um, is it just the prompt and AI is figuring it out and is just looking at the web page of SQLite and trying to recreate it from that? How
I
would
don't know.
that cloning
I
work?
guess
Same for
I guess
games.
I guess both ways work work the same, because if it's a human that reading the documentations and telling the AI create something like this, or is like telling giving the AI a URL for the documentation, tell him make me this. Oh, because AI already trained on so many open standards, you can just prompt it like, how do I create a SQL clone, and then okay, it gives you the stages, and then you tell him, okay, make it for me. Uh, Even if it doesn't have the source code, which for open
Yeah,
project does have.
I
Uh,
don't think it would make reverse engineering easier.
no, so I'm saying you don't need to reverse engineer. You can recreate things based on like the way they operate.
But then you would get half a version
You
or
don't need like
just what.
to look in the code. You don't need to open a binary and looking at the parts here and the parts there, and taking an assembly code and
Yeah, that's what I still don't believe will happen in a while. That that would be something that would generate a lot of likes on social media. Look, I have generated, I don't know what game, it with
yeah.
AI, and it would do a lot of the same things.
But you can
But
see that Mr. Doob already made like clones of I think it was Quake
Mhm.
in JavaScript.
and there's I have not looked at what was created.
Hmm.
Is are all the features there? Is it, or is it just at first looking similar?
I
Um,
don't know. I don't know.
and besides that, Quake is a game that has a lot of details written about
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
So it would be possible to gather a lot of information about that specific game. But if you would take a different game, um, like, I don't know, Tony Hawk Pro Skater,
Hmm.
Mhm.
there's not a lot of information there. If you would generate something, you might end up with a nice looking skate game.
Hmm.
And on social media, you post a video and maybe you post a link and people try it for a few minutes. Yes, it
Yeah.
only has the first level. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now build it into a real game, and then again, make money of it, because that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I have not looked into it's amazing. Nonetheless, it's amazing that you can create something like Quake with an AI. But
yeah, I
have you
have.
seen the Quake that was done for JS13K? Someone recreated Quake in 13
Mhm,
kilobytes without AI.
mhm.
It's not real Quake. It plays like
Yeah,
Quake.
yeah,
It looks a bit
yeah,
like Quake.
yeah. Sure.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
nice for the
understand.
likes.
I understand. I
I'm not
understand.
convinced. I'm really not convinced that you can generate a complete game with AI
Mhm.
and recreate it. It will not have the same impact and the same features as the
No,
original.
because for a game, you don't want to copy it one by one. But if you can tell AI, I want those and those systems from this game, it is much easier to recreate them now.
It
And
is.
if we talk about like reverse engineering, I have a friend that one of his hobbies uh, for years now is like taking games from the DOS era, like
Hmm.
the first Prince of Persia, for
Hmm.
example. A few years ago, he took the code and actually, reverse engineered, look on the assembly code, etc., and recreated the game, by hand, not using AI. And recently, like he published that now we have like I don't remember if it's Claude or something else that while he working on his own day-to-day work, he has like agents and others to reverse engineer karateka, and it already like managed um, to take the sprites and the scenes and like to reverse engineering lots of parts of the game, and like it looks like okay, in the past for other games it took me like a year or even more, and now I have AI that doing it on the next on another tab, and it takes it like a few days or a week to do this. um, so there's this path as well. It's not just copy, but I was talking about copying, like having already there's a defined game, there's a defined app, there's a defined process, and you can like you can act like as a product manager and tell the AI this those are the definitions, or look on this game and extract the definitions and then act according to that. So you don't need to have the full game because you want to make a clone. You don't want to make a mirror image of the game.
No, you can have an AI create the mechanics of a certain game, recreate the mechanics of a certain game. Well, I would say have it create a library with those mechanics, so you can easily use those again too. I think
Hmm.
that's a great use of AI, and especially one of using agents to do something like that. I think
Hmm.
that's a great use, yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, yeah.
Because from my personal experience, and I use AI in my development a lot
Hmm.
for many years, and um, I find that if you have the AI generate too much, you have to learn your code base. It's like you enter a new company that has a big code base, and you need to learn how it works. And then there's all those crazy things they thought to implement that you would have done differently.
Mhm.
I yeah, that's and then there's things if you want to add features, it will be hard. Not if you're in the flow, the initial flow, you just continue add features, and that's great, and that all works. And but if you then work with the library, and after a few weeks you want to change things or add another thing, yeah, I'm not convinced. I hope
Mm-hmm.
I hope I hope I will be able to really use it at some point to create whole games by just the prompts. But I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I found this post interesting um, on stuff, which maybe um, um, comes along with your stuff that your point that AI stuff is not quite there yet. Um,
Daniel,
and
Daniel,
Yeah.
you are still streaming.
Oh. Yeah, I was
Sorry.
looking at the actual tweet that Imaginary sent.
No, I just saw it pop up. Sorry to interrupt.
oh, are
No, but that's fine.
we not
I'm not
supposed
sure
to
if
stream?
not, I'm not sure if it was intended or not, but
It was intended. It was intended. I was gonna like quickly scroll through the article and then tab back over here.
sorry. Continue. I just brutally interrupted there. It's my job as a moderator, I guess.
Good. Yep. Yep. And I also just found this article, which looks interesting, but I have not read it yet. So
Oh, that
I
was about the SQL thing.
I do not know. It's very interesting whether just how capable LLMs are for doing things, and where they are best used. Um, so I don't know. I've never tried creating a clone of something with an LLM. Has anyone here tried that? Maybe they have firsthand experience.
Not a
Well, I
clone
was
of
using
anything.
LLMs like to help with those hubs package upgrades, for instance, right, and adding those tests.
Oh, hey man.
And they seem to
Yeah.
work out pretty good. And those weren't trivial upgrades. Those were like, all of the technical debt that Mozilla folks had left in that code base had to kind of come to bear to get like even seemingly trivial stuff done, like the upgrade to PDF.js. Had to migrate to ES modules and whatever else. And um, it's not like the agents now where I can have Codex go do an optimization job and it will literally just work by itself for 8 hours, profiling on the devices that are attached, trying optimization things, noting what works, noting what doesn't. I can literally start before I go to bed, and then I go to bed and I wake up, and it says like, here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's the combinations that worked well together, here's the combinations that didn't, et cetera, et cetera. And so I don't think it's a replacement for creativity. I had to know to like have the rigor to say, here's real devices, please, you know, profile the GPUs in this iPhone XS and in this Apple Watch 6. And that's the creative part, but the drudgery part of it, like it was pretty good at, even when I was doing those hubs experiments, but it's a lot better now, than it was, whatever that was, a year ago or 18 months ago when I was doing that stuff.
You're
I think
talking
that was only
sushi,
like
talking about
6 months
LLMs.
ago about
That's
um
awesome.
actually, but yeah. Yeah, and that I've been hearing a lot too is that it's good on um, picking up the drudgery stuff, especially if um, it's all stuff that is common, like well known, well done. Um, but this one we were talking about um, whether you could recreate, like easily recreate games or programs with LLMs now, and what that means for creators if anyone can just come and use an LLM to copy your game that you created in 6 weeks. So
Yeah,
so
I
have
agree.
you ever tried anything like that?
I haven't. Well, there is a thing that I'm working on where I did tell. Um, this was Codex. I said, uh, I want to make a dodecahedron 3D shape, and on each face of that shape, I want there to be a fragment shader that implements like a visual effect from the Future Crew Second Reality demo scene demo from 1993, and it did it. It's not a game exactly; it's not interactive, but as a little reference something, and it figured out the effects and stuff like that. And there were some refinements and things like that where like, oh, visually that doesn't look quite right. Like, what's the problem there? Or performance was the thing where it's like on older iPhones, for instance, I was like, this is only 30 FPS. This needs to be 60 FPS, and that started that profiling thing. But I do agree with the general sentiment that I think we're just at the end of intellectual property, whether that's movies or music or code. And in a lot of ways, this is the heretical thing that was just like the kind of beginning of open source getting popularized in the mid 90s and late 90s, where people just lost their fucking mind. They're like, what do you mean you won't have to pay a $50,000 site license for Solaris anymore? And there's a lot of people that are like, this will never happen. This will never work. They're just so held on to that old closed source sort of centralized sort of model that they really couldn't see that the cat was already out of the bag. Um, so I view this as just another phase of that same sort of open source ethos. It's like, what do you mean you don't own the copyright on the code? People like really had trouble wrapping their brain around it. I view this as very similar, where people thought that they quote unquote owned something that they turns out that they can't actually own because it's intangible. And I think that we're in a new wave of that, which is interesting and scary and exciting, kind of all at the same time. Um, but so I didn't recreate a whole game, but I did like give it a high level prompt of make this web GPU demo that has this sides of shape spinning, and on each face it's a fragment shader that implements a visual flourish from the Future Crew Second Reality demo, and it did it. Actually the first round of dodecahedron, the pentagons on each side weren't edge to edge; they were kind of tilt twisted, like it
Okay.
was one shape, but it wasn't like a welded edges shape. So I did have to give it that feedback, but I was fairly impressed. And so saying like make Quake, and but what makes Quake to you? And that's there's objective things and there's subjective things. Um, and so like I think another person in the community is just going through GDC talks and saying like, oh, Naughty Dog talked about this effect for Uncharted 2. make me a WebXR demo that recreates this, and so I can see what it looks like. And they kind of prompt and prompt and prompt to try to get something interactive, and then they move on to the next GDC Tech Talk, and having the LLM sort of do a reference implementation of it for the web. And so, to me, that's fun. Because it's like really is whatever you can think of, and if you've got a broad palette to pull from in terms of ideas and inspirations, that drudgery piece of it gets very unblocked. But there is a who owns the IP question, which is these exact same conversations. It was the exact same thing with open source in 1995, 1996, 1997. It was hard for people to wrap their brain around because it was a tectonic shift in software. And what's the value of software, and what's the if it's all free, how is it valuable, and all these kinds of same questions came up then too. And there's not one right answer to me, by the way. I'm just there's a lot of echoes that this reminds me of.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think that would be great if everything became open source and like public domain. I think that would be awesome. My worry is that it'll go that way for individual creators, but then large companies will have the money and legal means to lock down all of their copyrights. So like they get copyright and the rest of the small players do not. And I think that would create a very big power imbalance.
But the
So
the way you would enforce that copyright is if you had centralized distribution mechanisms that Warner Brothers could even approach and sue, as opposed to them having to go to every person's computer and look at their hard drive and go like, do you have a Gen AI video of the missing scenes from the Prisoner of Azkaban book? you know, um,
couldn't they just automate that with AI? But like a lot of surveillance laws are being put in place to allow a system like that. Um,
that's what I'm saying. Like
so
if you have a centralized server or even Tor network, right? We know that exit nodes on Tor are problematic, that it's not completely safe. You need like eight more condoms on top of using Tor to really anonymize what you're doing and try to not leave a trace. And so I think that what the challenge then is what's the distribution model for this sovereign content that's AI generated by individuals? If you want to make your own director's cut of Alien 3 where Newt did die or whatever, you can do that now. But it's like, how do you get that to people in a way that there's not a centralized server on the internet where uh, Fox or Disney can sue the pants off of the whoever's hosting the video? I think that distribution is probably the next thing to figure out. But I agree that in the current way of thinking about things, it is lopsided, and the megacorps with the most lawyers, it'll be just like the old days where the Harry Fox agency basically sent cease and desist letters and threatened to sue to every person who was like who like used a web browser in like 2000, right? When Kazaa and LimeWire and whatever was brand new, like grandmothers got these cease and desist letters saying they were going to be sued for $30,000. The grandmother had no idea what Kazaa or Napster was because this law firm just sent it out to everybody. They did get their hand slapped pretty hard, but I agree that in the current kind of legal climate that we're in globally, but also especially in the United States, that assuming that citizens could defend against such a thing, and now is, I don't know what the EFF would do if you know Larry Ellison's talentless son, you know, decides to go after a bunch of people that are, I don't know, somehow doing stuff with Warner Brothers or Paramount content, for instance. I'm assuming that ICE would show up at their door. But yeah, I agree. It's an interesting time, and these are all like really good questions.
Mm-hmm. but we've probably exhausted this topic for today. So, what have you been doing, Matt? How have things been? Well, aside from that, I mean, have you been working on any interesting projects recently?
Yep. In fact, I'm actually working on something right now.
Ooh,
I mean,
yeah,
okay. Can I share something?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There should even be a media frame in
Uh,
front of the theater doors if you want to put it in there.
I'm not sure how to put that. Like, but can anyone else do that for me?
As long as we can
I think
move
it's
the
similar
frame.
to the old stage. It should.
Yeah.
I think it should just snap, right?
Yeah, if you share the screen, someone else can drag it.
Yeah, I think I'm sharing it right now, but nothing is showing.
Yeah, there is still a hubs bug where it gets confused and doesn't show any new objects. So you may have to reload to see
Interesting.
your own share.
Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so I do have a live link. Maybe you guys can visit it. That's easier. It's quite fast. Don't worry.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ooh, sounds cool.
Infinite terrain.
Maybe not that much impressive, but yeah, that's as the name explains.
Oh, yeah. I'm using the Quest, so I can't.
Here, I'll open it on stream too.
Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, I've been working on several part of this stuff for several years. I mean, I made some. I think it's already there, like all this kind of stuff for 3JS and everything, but I'm making it in one-line engine, and it's quite different there, a new ecosystem. So I had to do some hacking with the vertex shader and everything, and I came up with this. So basically, the height map is generated in CPU itself, and on every frame, not every frame, whenever the new terrain portion is needed, it generates and send that to GPU, and GPU renders the grass and the entire terrain. So it might not be that much visually polished. And this link that I sent, it's also an older version, I guess, but it should give you an idea of how things, what I'm aiming to for it to become. And I do want to populate it with a lot of assets. I'm not sure if you guys have heard. So OneLine Engine has recently come up with something called meshlets. It's quite astonishing, like what engine team have done here. So kind of similar to what Nanite does for Unreal Engine. So we can drag drop bunch millions of assets in there, and it solves the vertex issue for you. So the performance on Quest depends on two main factors. I mean, according to my understanding, one is vertex problem and the fragment problem. So you still have to worry about the fragment problem. You have to worry about like how you order your pipelines, and don't have much overdraws and everything. But the vertex problem, it's basically solved with this new feature. In this terrain system also, I'm kind of using the meshlets here for the terrain chunks and also for the trees. And yeah, I'm trying to push like I'm kind of experimenting like how far I can push this. So
So is this an infinite world, or
this
does
is
it
an
have an
infinite
end?
procedurally generated world.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. It's always neat to
Yeah.
see people doing procedural, like, terrain type stuff in WebXR.
It's like No
I mean,
Man's Sky, like.
Yeah, kind of. No Man's
so
Sky,
El
WebXR.
Guilty, I wrote the code for the procedural generation, but I mean, at least I'm leveraging it, I would say. But there's a lot of things that AI can't do here specifically. So there are specific things that are related to one-line engine or optimization that require in-depth knowledge of the editor. So it doesn't seem to be that much good there, especially for optimizing. So by the way, this runs on Quest and maximum FPS. So you can try it out if you want. And also on Vision Pro if you want. So you can basically touch your thumb and index finger to move forward.
Can you
Mm.
place the link in the Discord chat? WebXR Discord chat on general chat or something?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll try it out later.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to share.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
How do I take a picture?
I think you hold it and pull trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just took a. Oh. What's that?
Oh, see you, Matt. Hope the birthday's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
See
So
you, Matt,
long.
and happy birthday.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya.
Happy
Bye.
birthday!
He should have led with it was his birthday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We could have given him
I
more
could have played a
salutation,
guitar or
but
something.
cake. We could have spawned a cake for him.
Oh yeah.
Keeps disappearing.
Okay, we are coming up on 2.5 hours, so I think I will go ahead and end the stream for today.
I joined late, but I want to say hi to you guys.
For sure.
Good night. It's after midnight here.
See you around, D Panther.
Okay.
Yeah, see
See
you
you.
around.
See you
Bye-bye.
already.
Thanks for stopping by, everyone.
I'm amazed there
Yep.
wasn't like a rocket alert during it. Yeah, bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.